A lot of Pahrump people.
Speaking of which,
Pahrump,
Oh yeah, we're doing some business in Pahrump.
Pahrump
We,
is not just for hookers and
I
fireworks.
want to give a shout out to Sue, the lady that called in and she came to our office. She brought us
some nice grapes.
she brought us a harvest from her
Did she?
her property.
We bought us a pound of grapes.
Another reason why you should own real estate, so you can have prosperity and do a garden and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. I appreciate
This
that.
is
Thank
from
you,
the guy
Sue.
that has chickens and llamas in his house, and
Just chickens, but
every single.
We're
bunch of
selling.
chickens.
We're selling her 10 acres, by the way, up there. in Pahrump.
10 acres.
Yeah, she has several parcels, but this one 10 acre that she has grapes and
yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
amazing.
So you need to make this some wine now. Take those grapes and try.
Well, they were really small grapes, so I think there were wine-making grapes, right? I don't know.
I even heard you can make you can
I
distill
don't know
the
anything
wine,
about wine.
make alcohol.
I drink scotch. So.
Yeah, thanks for that. You got me drinking scotch stuff.
All right, let's do cut to a break, guys. When we get back, we're going to continue our discussion with Sean. Any legal questions that you have, throw some at us. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Let's get some calls going. You guys make the show $50 twice today from Buca to Beppo for the best callers. Or if you want to reach us in the office, 577-2600, 577-2600. We'll be back after this. You'll listen to Real Estate Live here on News Radio 100.5.
You like that?
Pretty easy, huh? Love it, huh?
Pump you up. Sure. State laws are different and they vary, but yes, you could be in trouble for possession of paraphernalia, but that doesn't mean you're guilty.
Because they were minors, right? They're minors.
Yeah. Oh, they're minors.
Then
Yeah. They
So were they charged?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Gotcha. But you're wanting to know what could have happened, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't have possession of paraphernalia. It's in Nevada. It's a misdemeanor, even though
What if you have a medical marijuana card?
Just because they're headed to Colorado.
But you're going to different states, right? Different state might have different laws, and then you're
sure. If you're headed to Colorado, if you have a,
you're good.
Yeah, you're good once you get to Colorado. But you can't take it out of Colorado. You can't take marijuana out of Colorado. In non. No, that's different.
That's a water pipe. That's not a bomb.
That could be tobacco.
Correct.
Not wacky tobacco.
That could be a vaporized tobacco.
Typically, so they'll charge you with resin, and what they'll do, they'll scrape the resin of the pipe, and they'll find it, they'll smell it. Then nope, they can't be charged. Cannot be charged. You didn't say that. You're changing the facts on me. If it's never been used, then they cannot be charged with possession of paraphernalia.
Can the same thing be said about a bag of marijuana that wasn't used?
Guilty.
I didn't use it. It's still in the bag.
It wasn't broken.
No, you can take it across state lines if it's unused, because it could be utilized for tobacco, other
hookah.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great question, though. Thank you.
Cool, Myrna. We appreciate it. 577-2600 if you ever want to reach us in the office and talk to Sean.
Aaron, do you guys come across any grow rooms that you like all of a sudden like
100%.
But there's a meth lab.
Hey guys, come on in.
Meth labs, grow rooms, and every other room.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
What do you guys just basically do an about turn and go, well, this is not a bad.
All the AET make sure, so he has to do a little research.
He hands him my card.
Call the proper authorities. I hand him Sean Sullivan's card. Make sure to leave all the evidence in the house before we do anything. Sean comes over, takes some
bring the
pictures
onion, the bong, and then we're good.
Ready to go.
Get the money out first, though, to pay your lawyer.
Sean, let's talk about real estate. Some issues criminally with squatters and HOAs, stuff like that. So, squatters, until recently, the bill was changed, they had so many rights where, they could be living in the house forever. And the Metro would come down, they couldn't kick them out because they produced some haphazardly looking rental agreement. And they're like, well, it's not in our jurisdiction. You have to go to the courts to figure this out. We have from time to time have a good sibling woman, Victoria Seaman, good friend of ours, call in the show. She did get that bill passed through. So there are some more rights now, thankfully, for people that have squatters in them. But I was asking you on a break, I've heard stories like what if a squatter hurts themselves? I mean, can they turn around and sue a homeowner? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you carry homeowner's insurance. Mm-hmm. And let's say they slip and fell on a piece of tile that was negligently laid down. Mm-hmm. They could make a claim against you for that.
Even though they're going to wrap my head around that.
That's going to be
a great breaking and entering, but I'm going to sue you because you didn't lay tile. Right?
That's going to be your defense. That's going to be your defense, but they can make that claim.
Wow.
I have a question on civil forfeiture.
Okay.
So when you're defending, somebody and the government's threatening to, basically take their assets, is there like a process in play? How does that work?
What they typically do, they'll seize the assets. So you're in a car and you have 5 pounds of marijuana and 20,000 in cash. They'll arrest you, and then they're going to serve you with paperwork for seizure to seize that asset and to keep it. And then you have to contest it and try to explain that you acquired it from a legitimate means or source. And then the fight starts.
So what about real estate? Does that ever come into play? Do they ever seize real estate or do anything in that manner?
Sure.
That's why you advise always putting something in a trust like real estate?
I think I know the government, the federal government can still take.
They can.
If they can tie, they have to tie the illegal actions and proceeds to the property. But they can seize cars, boats, houses, bank accounts. Scary. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it
The
a
point of the story here is
stay out of trouble?
exactly.
Well,
Don't break the law.
Keep it legal.
Keep it legal.
As Sean says, break the law and call me.
You know, I did have a homeowner association issue recently. You were asking about that.
Yeah.
He was a gentleman, Israeli, and he was trying to get a wall put up for privacy when people came around the corner in the community. And boy, they were just giving him a hard time. It almost sounded like, I won't use the case facts specifically, but it almost sounded like discrimination, like the board was discriminating against him for being Jewish. And so he called me in a panic, and I referred him to a HONA lawyer, and that lawyer wanted $5,000 just to get started. And so since I knew the guy, I played soccer with him, I said, why don't I do a letter? So I did a letter, and I said, I highlighted all the issues for him.
Well, I mean, can't you just look at the CCNRs and see if he's allowed to do that?
He was allowed
He was?
He was
Wow.
allowed. 2 days later, I got a telephone call, start the construction.
There you go.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah,
But how fair is that?
I'll tell you an HOA story that I had that was kind of amazing. I had this young lady give me a call. She wants to sell her house. And it was an equity sale, traditional sale. Well, she had 2 Rottweilers. And she, the side gate on the side that's about 3 or 4 feet. Well, they kept giving her a hard time about this gate on how it doesn't conform with the rest of the neighborhood, because she took the original gate off and she put a gate on there that was mesh so
So
people
they
wouldn't
could
see
not
the
get out.
dogs, and it would look more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, right? So she puts this gate in, but she didn't get it approved. Now the gate obviously looked better than everybody else's gate. She got $100 fines every single week. When I went to list her house, she had $9,000 in fines.
That's like deliberate.
Oh, it was deliberate.
bullying.
And here's why. Because my client looked a little different. Her and her boyfriend, they looked a little different. They had some tattoos and things, and these Rottweilers,
Creative.
which are kind of, Rottweilers are different animals, but the neighborhood did not like the Rottweilers. They did not want them there. And that was really, it had nothing to do with the gate.
Sure.
It had to do with, they wanted her to move because the neighbors were afraid of the dogs. So collectively, the HOA got together and fine, to where it got to the point where she had to move. She called me. I went to the HOA board, got the fine down to about $1,500.
Wow.
It was absurd of what happened.
And the gate was probably safer, Sean. And if she didn't do that, and the dogs got out, attacked somebody, I mean, that they could be charged criminally for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the difficult part is a cost basis analysis. Would that gentleman pay $5,000 for some lawyer to fight? If he did and won, he would get his $5,000 back. But what homeowner can just reach in their pocket and pull out $5,000?
Yeah, that's the tough part. The retainers are always tough for a innocent person to try to fight and do the right thing because they can't come up with a retainer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, let's cut to a break, guys. When we get back, let's talk a little bit about home buying. along with Dennis Schultz from Noble Home Loans, and of course the real estate guy AT Aaron Taylor, Aaron, whatever you want to call him, and our good friend, criminal defense attorney extraordinaire, Sean Sullivan. If you guys want to reach to the studio, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. They're taking your calls live, and we do have a great attorney in the house today, so take advantage of that. If you have any legal questions, he'd be happy to answer for you.
He's giving away $50 buka.
There you go, and buka.
Buka.
Kuka. And we're obviously answering any mortgage and real estate questions. And if you do want to reach us in the office, get that free mortgage tune up, talk to 877-577-2600. There are people standing by right now waiting to take your calls. Nelson, welcome to Real Estate Live. What's happening, man?
Are you going to go squat on their property?
Wow.
Well, now you're probably talking about going to the probate cell.
Correct.
Going to probate cells down at the courthouse.
Are you using cash or are you getting financing? Okay. Perfect.
Well, I don't know of any software to locate vacant homes, Nelson. If you do find a vacant home, we can look it up through a property profile. We can find the owner's name and not number, but we can give you that information. I mean, you can do some research and hopefully reach out to them. Depending on if there's a lien on the property, though, Aaron, and maybe we talked to them about doing a short sale and put Nelson in the contract to buy it.
Well, Nelson, what you could do, you could
upside down.
What's that?
What's his price range? What prices are you looking for?
Why are you trying to locate vacant homes? I'm just curious.
Well, what?
Why would they do that?
That's not
I disagree with that.
No, well, let me tell
Who
you.
doesn't want a
Listen,
home?
when somebody passes away, the kids want that money.
Yeah, and if not, Nelson, what happens
There's
is
a
it
mortgage
goes to
lien on the
probate.
property that's upside down.
Well,
That's why they don't want it.
It goes to probate cell, and then there's guys that are sitting around the probate cell. Let's say the house is worth 200, and they're trying to get rid of it for 50 grand. It goes to probate cell, and someone could sit there and bid higher on it, and they'll bid up to 80-90% of market value and buy the property.
What's your intention?
Just
Are you
like
gonna
the
buy and
HOA.
sell, or are you going to buy and hold?
He just wants a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, Aaron Taylor has a long list of properties that might fit that.
Yeah,
criteria.
but
Yeah, Nelson, you're thinking like I don't know who told you about this. Maybe it's happened before, from time to time, but it's not something that's happens all the time where you can go find a vacant home and the sellers have passed away and their heirs don't want the property, so they're willing to sell it for 50 grand even though it's worth 200.
I don't
It's
blame
kind of not reality, but listen, Nelson, we'd love to hear from you if you do want to find any properties that aren't vacant and do it the right way. Get a great deal with Aaron Taylor and his team. 577-2600, 577-2600. Lori, welcome to Real Estate Live. How are you? Oh, I'm hanging in there, Lori. Appreciate you asking. What's your comment today? All right.
The real estate.
So you're not buying a house. You want to rent in a like an elder community, right? Age restricted, 55 or older, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, in a rental agreement, like like a property management rental agreement, you can charge whatever you like. But on the original agreement, it's going to state that whoever signs the lease agreement is the leasing, and it will determine how many people can live in the property. And if you add someone to that lease agreement, you have to notify the property manager or the owner on any additional people. Now, the owner has a right, and it's usually in the lease agreement that can say, hey, we're going to charge you $50 more a month or $100 more a month if you bring in mom or mom-in-law or whoever. Usually it's good for so many days. Usually you can bring someone, live in the property for up to usually 30 days and not have to worry about it. Anything longer than that, you have to add them on the lease agreement, and there could be an additional charge, yes. Sure. Well, I would have to see the
That's where we get
contract.
Sean involved and start
Yeah,
suing.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, I any of those retirement homes, or I wouldn't have my parents sign a contract unless I looked at it, or if I had an attorney look at it.
You got to read it. You got to read it. Like you said, with the fine tooth comb. If you have issues, call me at 702-385-7270. If they give you a hard time.
I'm sure Sean knows somebody he can refer you to.
I'm not licensed in California. I'm licensed in Nevada. I can practice in other states, but that's another story with certain restraints. But California, I'm not, but we can certainly put you in contact with somebody. If you call me at that number, we'll help you out. It's 702-385-7270.
Thanks, Lori.
The legal guy. The legal guy.
No, the legal dude.
Appreciate the call, Lori.
It'll be
I mean, the
taken-
bottom line, guys,
Yeah,
any contract,
yeah.
Sean, I mean, whether it's a purchase contract, a rental agreement, however mundane and obvious you think it is, you've got to read that, right? And don't you suggest something like that where, maybe if they know an attorney friend or somebody, or even pay a little couple extra bucks to have someone like you read over the details, probably a good idea, right?
Absolutely. Plus, she definitely has a claim. They have to, if they call for 2 occupants at that price, now there's one. It's just kind of logical that they would reduce it. Unless they're taking advantage of
Like by half, maybe.
Well, speaking of brands, I do have a rental calculator here that I actually want everybody to understand the differences between buying and renting. But I don't have time right now. So we're going to cut to actually a fast break here. And when we get back, we're going to go over this. So if you're thinking about buying a home, stay tuned for the next segment, guys. If you're on the fence, you need to listen to this. If you want to reach to the studio, we'd love to hear from you. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. But none of them are blown me away yet, Dennis. Be nice.
You didn't like the call
Hey,
from
Ron.
Sue from emails?
Not really.
The
All right, I'm just kidding. It was all right. So listen,
It was all right.
$50 still on the line, guys. Come strong, 733-5968, or in the office. That's where you really want to reach us. That's where we get down to business. If you do need help with a refinance, purchase, short sell, whatever it is, 577-2600, 577-2600. And guess what? We are live streaming. If you do want to see how great looking Aaron Taylor is, it's the realestateguyLV.com/radio or what is it?
Forward slash.
Sorry. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Real Estate Live, Her News Radio 100.5 KXNT.
If you need to sell your house,
What do you think, Dustin?
Aaron Taylor.
Huh?
Gonna sell
What do you
it
think?
fast to
What?
get the most cash.
Feel a little
Talk
momentum?
to
You feeling it?
Aaron Taylor.
Did you used to do radio?
The time to do a short
Sell it.
sell is now. Aaron Taylor
Doing
here.
this
The real
thing.
estate
Been doing
guy.
this for 4
There are
years.
a few urgent
Yeah.
reasons why you
I'm gonna
should
bring us
short
in,
sell
all right?
your home today.
Oh, yeah.
This may
I'll bring
be
us in.
last year the
I'll
banks
bring us
releasing you of the deficiency balance.
I'll tell you what
Banks
radio
are
does, though.
tighter and
When you
tighter,
do radio
starting
like
to
all the radio commercials I've done over the last several years,
Could be the last year
it
to receive
makes you,
relocation money, up to
you
$10,000.
do talk a little
This may be the
different.
last year
I don't know
we
if it's by
guarantee
habit
cash back.
or,
And lastly,
but when you're
we
on the
provide
microphone,
best attorneys in the
it
state of
just
Nevada,
sounds,
all at no cost
I
to
think
you.
so,
We
don't
have
you?
completed thousands
What do
of
you mean?
short sales
It's a little
with over
different than
21
just
years of
talking. You're like,
experience. Go
He sounds like he
to
belongs on
Aaron
ESPN,
Taylor,
honestly.
the real estate guy.
Yeah.
yeah, you get that after a while.
702
The Mike and Mike show.
310-6683. That's 702
I love
310.
Oh, and then make sure you say that, you know,
Maybe 7 sports, talk about sports on that.
No.
I'm like,
Or what's selling houses? The real estate guy.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of four to
Yeah,
attend a
I
professional
can't wait.
baseball
I got a
game is
commercial
over
on every
$200? At the
football
same
game.
time, over
preseason.
40% of all sports,
Right.
concert, and theater tickets go
15
unsold.
seconds.
So how come we're all paying so
Nice.
much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner.
So your
Yeah,
call to
the
action
radio
is to have them go to your website.
Directly with teams in
What's
Vegas
that?
to get their
Your call to
associates
action
fantastic huge
Is it
savings
for them
on
to go to your
On
website or call
scorebig.com,
you?
we
Website.
guarantee You'll
Like,
save
phone
You guys track
to events you
the
don't want to see.
NCAA
But
average
millions
call.
of great seats for the best
What are people most
events,
into?
days, weeks, even months in
Website, like
advance.
webbing
On
instead of calling now?
scorebig.com, when
Well,
you
it's hard to tell
successfully
because
ticket
if
price
you do
on
multiple
average,
sources
you'll
of
save
advertising,
33%
you
below
get
box
a lot of
office
people
price.
just go to the internet and
With
find
no
you.
added
So you
fees or
think
shipping
it's
charges.
from an internet.
So you ask them on the
Lots of
sign up,
places
see
to
how
buy
do you
tickets.
find
Really
it?
wanna
Please
save
do,
it?
but
Check
you
out
get the lead from it,
scorebig.com.
and then when you meet with them, they think, I heard you on the radio, I saw you on TV. So it's kind of a combination. Sometimes you can pinpoint it, but
That's
a lot of
scorebig.com.
times when you do multiple streams of advertising, it's a combination.
With the help of Linear Title Las Vegas. Linear's innovative technology and superior
Yeah,
customer
dude.
service add value to every purchase, short sale, and REO transaction. From clearing title to
Yeah.
coordinating closings, they streamline the closing.
It does.
So that
Make sure
one
you say
dude
that,
that
you know,
wanted to buy-
they can click on that and go to your
He's a
website
buyer.
too.
We need to talk him into
So-
using a real estate agent to buy. Right? The guy that,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but come on, dude, 10 cents on the dollar, he's hyped.
it doesn't matter, he's got
Kidding me?
money, dude. He's got 200,000 clams.
That's the guy you say, that's the guy you say,
He thinks she's gonna buy a 40,000.
but that's the guy you say, come down to the office, meet me, I'll take you
Yeah,
for a
that's
drive and show you some properties.
Radio 100.5 KXAT.
Ready? Welcome back, everybody, to Real Estate Live. Aaron Taylor here, the real estate guy, the big co-host, sitting next to Dustin DeHart, the man, the myth, the legend. And we also have from Nova Home Loans, Dennis, the voice of reason, always keeping us in check.
Cleans us up.
Does clean us up. And we're streaming live on YouTube, so please go to YouTube and see how handsome I am. According to Dustin.
realestateguyLD.com/radio, right?
Yes, let's do that.
Real Estate Live, like realestateguyLD.com/radio.
Who's your special guest today?
I don't know.
Oh, we do have a special guest, Sean Sullivan,
Like, he totally forgot about you. didn't he?
criminal
He's always
attorney.
sitting right next to you.
If you have any questions regarding breaking and entering, can someone break into my house? And can I grab my shotgun and just shoot them because I'm in fear of my life without getting in trouble?
If you're in immediate fear of your life, you have a duty to retreat as far as you can. If they break in the door, shoot them.
What happens if Dustin breaks into my house? I kind of know him, but he's never been to my house.
Just
And I
put
can
him
tell
with
it-
the scotch.
I can tell he's intoxicated because he does like scotch. And I accidentally shoot him with my shotgun because I wasn't sure. It was dark and I just woke up.
You're not going to get charged, but you're going to be sued by him.
Yes, you are.
His wife could.
All right, we got a bunch of calls.
All right, let's take some.
Russ, welcome to Real Estate Live. What's happening? Because only liabilities on your credit are impacted for your debt to income ratios. If it's on your credit report, then we'll count it. If it's not, it's not. So, I mean, you could say that about power bills. You could. Okay, sure.
I don't think so. I don't think it's a bait and switch.
Russ, we're gonna take another call.
If it was, I mean, you have to be fiscally responsible. You have to be responsible for your own financials. I mean, just because someone says you can go and borrow, you know, 300,000 and your payment's 1,900, you have to make a decision with your family. Honey, can we afford 1,900?
That's a. I mean, yeah, we can take everything into account. Your cable bill, your
Yeah,
power
insurance
bill, water,
bills.
insurance. I mean, it goes on and on. So let's take another call and see if this one's better. Kathy, what's happening? Welcome to Real Estate Live.
I like that.
Oh, that's right. Sure. I mean, I don't see why.
Do you want to give it to your half to your new spouse? Is that the goal?
I mean, the bottom line, even if it's in a trust, Kathy, if you passed on, I mean, you have a will, right? I mean, you're not a trust attorney. I mean, but Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's in the trust, but she has a will stating he's going to get the house.
Sure,
I mean, right?
sure.
I mean, that's pretty clear.
Well, it depends on what are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
Like what's
it's
the
just to
goal?
protect her husband, right?
Yeah, what's the goal?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to modify that trust to change that. You would just include that as an asset to him.
But I do see a lot of this happens quite often where people get married and you want to make the spouse feel good about being part of the house and the whole asset thing. And I mean, you could, besides adding them on the LLC, you could always just add them on the deed too.
Well,
I think you should wait 5 years to make sure he's worthy. and then add him on.
Yeah, the trust.
the purpose of the trust is to avoid probate taxes. So the actually, if what are they charging you to modify that trust? How much?
Yeah, I mean, Kathy, what if he wants to buy a house on his own, like down the road, like an investment property? If there's no legal ownership to that house, well, I don't have to count that against his ratio.
Good
So
point.
I don't really think it's in your best interest to even add him on. I mean, as long as he's in the will. And again, we have an attorney here to correct my mistakes,
Right. Well,
which I make many of them on the show.
The only complication with that is if she wants him to have the house of avoid probate. If it's in the trust, if it's in the will, it's going to go through probate, which means that asset's going to be taxed.
So there you go.
Technically, when you get married and a house is already in a I think this is the one, quote me, but if you're getting married, the house is a separate entity.
That's NRS chapter 13.
So the separate entity, owns the property. So technically, if you got married and didn't include him, you would never get that property.
The voice of reason.
Well, the other thing you have to decide if that 1,500 is going to save him a great amount in taxes. If so, then you want to add him to the trust.
Kathy, you probably need to talk to a trust attorney. Is our advice, weigh it all out.
Yeah, don't believe what we have to say.
If you think it makes sense, probably the route to go. If that's not the case, listen, he's protected as long as he's in the will. I mean, he's still married to you. So.
Call us in the office so we can maybe refer you to one of our trusted advisors that we work with.
Who's that?